Alright, so I wanted to show you guys how this all works. I was going to show you the construction of the battery and then also how I end up either replacing or refilling the cartridges here. So this is how the e-cigarette is constructed. You've got the battery, you've got the atomizer, and you've got the cartridge. I'm going to start with the battery here. The battery is a lithium battery. It's rechargeable. On this end you have a light, and then on this side, and this is with this model specifically, it may not be true for other models, inside you have a sensor, and that it registers pressure. So when you give a suck on it, just sucking on that end right there triggers the battery to activate. You know when that battery is activated by the LED light that's on the end there. So that is then connected to the atomizer here. The coil's inside here. There's steel wool that forms an arch right there. You can see through that. That steel wool extends around the outside of the inner part of the atomizer, which heats up with the coil. So once the coil heats up, that heats up as well. And that arch then gets very close to touching the wool that is inside the cartridge, inside that part. And I'll show you the inside there. I use a safety pin. There's a hole on this side. I use a safety pin. I push it through the hole, and out pops the cartridge. I'm going to pull it all the way out just because I can, but you wouldn't normally do this. Okay, so it's got a bit of liquid on there. Now I actually need to refill this, so I'm going to show you how to do that, and it will also at the same time show you how that's constructed. So inside this cartridge you have this piece of wool right here. This it's solid on the back end, but there are ridges here that allow the air to pass by, so as you're sucking from this end, it not only activates the battery, which heats up the coil, but it forces the liquid, as it's being warmed up and turning into vapor, out of the cartridge. This will end up fitting on this way. So it forces it out of the cartridge that way, and then once it reaches the edges of the inside cartridge, it comes back around, and that's how the vapor ends up in your mouth and likewise in your lungs. So what I do to fill this up, this is e-liquid right here. It's a 30 milliliter bottle, and this particular flavor is tobacco. It has 24 milligrams of nicotine in it. You can get it in. You can get it with 36 milligrams of nicotine. You can get it with 24, which is what this is. You can get it with 18, and then you have, I think it's 8 or 7 milligrams, and then you have 0. You can get the liquid without nicotine. Now, what the liquid is made of, I don't know if I said this anywhere else. I may have said it in the comments. It's made up primarily of propylene glycol, glycerol, tobacco essence oil, which gives it both the flavoring and the source of the nicotine. I know that the bottle delivers more per puff than a cigarette, but part of the reasoning for that, I think, and well, at least this makes sense to me, is that in normal combusted cigarettes you have all sorts of other things that you are addicted to as well. All of the things that are created from the combustion of the leaf and the paper. That is not present here, so you've got to kind of make up for that. It's not a difference that you can really pinpoint and put your finger on, but I think it is a difference that you might end up noticing, if not just because of the taste and the smell, then because of effect. Now, you have two choices here. You can either refill these yourself, which is much, much cheaper. A bottle like this costs $30, whereas a pack of 5 of these costs $4. The kit that I got came with some of these, so what you end up doing is ripping that package open, and then you've got a new cartridge right here. You pull this topper off, and it is all ready to go. You could put that right on there, and it is ready to smoke. Now, I don't like doing that. I like refilling myself. Okay, so I'm actually just going to put that away. And what I do to refill this, I just put 1, 2, 3, 4 if I'm feeling like 4, 5 if I'm feeling like 5. Then I take the wool and I shove it back in there slowly. You don't want it to mat up or ball up in one spot. And then you've got that wool sitting in there now. I'm going to wet that piece of wool with 1 drop, and it seems like it's drying up pretty quickly, so I'm going to go 2 drops. And that is about what I wanted at. And I just push that little cartridge back in without pushing in the wool as much as I can, and that is ready to go. I then take my atomizer, because you don't want the atomizer to get dry or else it will burn out. I take that and I just rub a little bit on there, and that right there is ready to go. So that's that part of it. Another thing I should mention is how to recharge the battery. When it is empty, you'll see, or when it needs to be recharged, the end light will flash a few times, and you'll see that. You'll notice that you're not getting any vapor. So it's not like it's difficult to tell. And when you're not getting any vapor and this isn't lighting up, that probably means that you need to replace this or refill it. So when you do need to recharge the battery and you're unscrewing it from this, you've got to remember not to screw the atomizer off by the cartridge, because that part might be sticking to the inside, and if you twist the two parts of the atomizer, you might rip out the wires of the coil, and it'll just render the atomizer useless. So let's say this needs to be recharged. You can do this a few different ways. This came with a USB charger, and it looks like this. So I plug this into my computer, and I screw in the battery just like so. And I'm going to turn it this way because you'll see why. Once it's in, I know it's charging because it flashes. That's actually what it does when it's empty too. Red light, and that'll go green when it's all ready to go. And I just leave that there. I have a second one that comes in the kit, and I just use that one, which should be full by this time, until this one's done, and I change it again. It does come with a wall charger that you plug the USB into. Just like that, you would plug that into the wall, and then you can charge your battery. So that is that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you an idea of how this all works. There you have it.